Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine. Let's network.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
In closing, I want to say, hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine. Thank you very much.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet hope, Chicago. 22 is 4, 4, 4, 6. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you wanna go back to the lemon light?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. Community Policing Caps24.org. Community policing is increasing in this neighborhood, and good things are happening as some of the stuff that new Superintendent Johnson is doing are good. We wish him good health. And anyway, it is a pleasure to introduce you to a man with multiple titles, multiple hats, who's the biggest live wire for a guy his age since me, except he's making friends with people and I was busy making enemies being in the press. And he is the executive director of the Jewish Community Council of West Rogers Park. He is the founder of the B2B, which is the Jewish Business to Business Network. You got something in Skokie too.
I'm also chairman of Skokie's Economic Development Commission. So lots of hats.
Yeah, and plus, are you still on WIND?
I sure am. Every Sunday, 6 p.m.
And you got a business show over there.
I host a weekly radio show on WIND. Been almost 3 years now. Can't believe it. Yeah, it's exciting.
Anyway, his name is Shalom Klein, as if you don't know him.
Thanks, Avi. I guess introduction would not be the right word. I guess it's reintroduction.
Reintroduction.
Because I feel like I'm a regular in this chair.
You are. I mean, not when there's an election, because obviously
That's
I
right.
always concentrate on the elections, but no, we're always happy to have you. So you got so much stuff in there. Since we're located in West Rogers Park, you could tell us about West Rogers Park. You could tell us about Skokie too. What good developments are going on?
Sure. So the big news in West Rogers Park right now is our efforts to improve the library, the Northtown branch of the Chicago Public Library, currently on Devon in California. Huge success because not only are we getting it improved, we're actually getting it replaced. So you know how they talk about Obamacare, repeal, replace?
Right.
We're actually getting it replaced, which is the ultimate goal. So very exciting. We solicited thousands of signatures, petitions. We organized a community effort with many nationalities included. We had folks from the Indian community, from the Pakistani community, from the Latino community, all communities coming together around a shared interest.
Because there's not enough of any of us to count for anything.
You know, we all need to work together, and this is one of these areas that communities come together in the neighborhood that we all call home, which is really nice. So we collected signatures both in person, meaning actually signatures, as well as through a change.org petition. We got thousands of signatures. We got the attention of the library commissioner, Brian Bannon, who invited us to come to meet and to present at a board meeting of the Chicago Public Library. We apparently got their attention. We raised some attention, and it was announced a few months ago now that West Rogers Park, West Ridge, as some refer to our neighborhood as, would be the first of several sites in a new innovative model in combining a library and senior housing. There's money for senior housing, no money for libraries. So together, by working in partnership between the Chicago Housing Authority and the Chicago Public Library, new library, many, many, many millions of dollars being invested in West Rogers Park on Pratt and Western. We're excited about it. It's going to be, as Donald Trump would say, huge. and we are working closely together with all the relevant departments, agencies, officials, and trying to make sure it's something that our neighborhood will be proud of. Obviously trying to make sure that the current site, that something will be done with it. And we're trying to make sure on the housing side, I actually sat in meetings over the past few weeks to try to bring some of the CJE, the Council for Jewish Elderly,
nice.
people that are on the waiting list. I actually saw the waiting list. It's tremendous how many people, Jewish elderly members of the community, are waiting for senior housing that can't receive it. Now that there's new housing that's opening up, we'd love to see how we can get these two bureaucracies to work together and get some people in place. So lots going on. It's good news. It's positive news. There will be new technology, things like Kindles and ebooks and all sorts of different things that the Northtown branch currently, the only thing you could be proud of is the peeling paint. Right now, there's going to be technology.
I like the librarian.
Librarians, the staff are wonderful, and I hope that they'll all be moving along to the new branch. And the next thing
Catherine.
is Catherine. Catherine's wonderful. Catherine Wilson. Hi, Catherine. And the nice thing about this is growth. It's being done right, and we're working together as a community effort to make sure that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I know you're going from, the library's going to go from 10,000 to 16,500 square feet.
Oh yeah.
You're talking, what, about 30 housing units?
It's something like that. They're still working on all of the exact details, the models of the building and things like that. I mean, putting the library and housing aside, it's a nice investment in the neighborhood. You look at all of the things over the past few years.
Yeah, that thing's been vacant for the longest time.
The property's been vacant. And you look at actually across West Rogers Park, you look at the tremendous investment that has been made with the new Jewish Child and Family Services building on Kedzie.
Right.
You look at, obviously, all of the synagogues that have been built and the day schools that have been built. And I've been
It's
just
unbelievable, with more coming.
With more coming. I mean, Ida Crown is going to be gutted, essentially, and have a tremendous investment from the Weitzner Cheder, from Rabbi Unger. And you're talking about tens of millions of dollars being invested into this neighborhood. And again, putting aside what the institutions are, which, by the way, we're all very proud of: a new library, new school, new synagogues, new organizations. It just looks good for the neighborhood to drive around.
It looks
and see
great. I mean, there is a brand new synagogue, shul, for those of you who want to know what shul means, synagogue. Exactly 1 block and 2 houses from my house.
Right.
And the ark where we house the Torah is like over 30 feet high. And it's just like a beautiful building. I call it Anshe Mahogany. Anshe means the men of. In like when you see like Anshe Matula, what does that mean? That means like the people of the town of Matula are actually the ones who started the Matula shul. This shul is mahogany all the way. Everything is the ark is like hand carved mahogany, not mahogany. With individual carvings of all the different tribes. 2 blocks further down, you've got Rabbi Twersky, whose new shul is, first of all, it's packed to the hilt, and it's like a max building on the area that he's already outgrown. He is such a nice guy and a popular guy, and not just because his father gives the hachshir to all the spices I use.
You know what? It's amazing how the Jewish community and many other communities, and we could talk about that in a moment, but the Jewish community has called West Rogers Park home for many decades, many decades. I mean, everybody who I talk to has a story of either they grew up in West Rogers Park or they have a family member that has fond memories of West Rogers Park. You're going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and it's amazing. You're talking about 70 years of history in West Rogers Park, and what's happening right now in our work of the Jewish Community Council, and frankly the work of all these synagogues and all of these schools that are taking place, it's an investment. It's an investment, and it's an insurance policy to ensure that the community will continue to call West Rogers Park home for the next 60 and 70 years. And there's tremendous growth for the Jewish population in the northern suburbs, and that, I believe, will continue. We look at many of the
That's going
communities.
boom like there's no tomorrow.
There's no question, but there's also tremendous growth in families, large families, that are choosing to call West Rogers Park home. And what we need to work on is creating the businesses to support those families, those large families, many of these families that are walking to the grocery store, walking to the bakery. We need to make sure we support the businesses that are already here, businesses like Tel Aviv Bakery and Kultuv. And now, of course, we have Magenta, which we're very excited about.
Which is really cool, by the way.
It's
I mean,
beautiful.
that's also less than a block from my house.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, Avi, I look at where your house is, and I just draw a line around it, and I just make sure that we've got all the good businesses and all the good organizations
Yeah, we don't
around
have
you.
that many synagogues east of us, but that's okay.
I'll get to work on that.
By the way, I actually did sit down with a map, and I counted within walking distance of my house. And I am east of California, so I'm not actually in the prime Jewish neighborhood. Within 8 blocks of my house, there are 21 synagogues.
No, sure.
I mean, kosher synagogues that I have no trouble going to.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, they might have trouble with me, but that's another story.
What we need to do is we need to work on bringing new businesses here, looking at what does the community need. And
Well, we've got we're getting the numbers now, and the numbers is the key. You know, at one of the police meetings not that long ago, the monthly DAC meeting, the commander talked about certain people were alarmed about the change in demographics. And I went, uh-oh, the Latin Kings move in? And he says, no, there's like a tremendous influx of young Orthodox, families into the
you
neighborhood.
walk around and you don't know who so many of these people are, and it's
I
wonderful.
don't.
It's wonderful.
I used to know everybody. Now I know nobody.
Yeah, it is fascinating, and there's not enough housing stock, which is one challenge. Obviously, we need to work
And
with
there are
Devon
a ton.
Bank on.
When I drove the other side of Kedzie, when I don't have a car, but when I rent a car, I like to check to see the neighborhood. I'll go down the streets and all that. Trying to solicit drugs, business, whatever. So, just kidding. But when I look over there, it was like unbelievable how these things were vacant for the longest time. There's a million more of them. They're getting filled up as soon as they're being built. A ton of religious families, even in places where there weren't originally religious families, you're getting all these religious families. And yeah, the number of kids is astounding.
You know what, Avi, I'm really worried about is the building owners in West Rogers Park. We've got some challenging property owners that don't take pride in their buildings. They're not responsible landlords, and they're treating their properties very, very poorly. They're not responsive to the people that are in the building, and they're unresponsive pretty much to everybody. That's on the residential side. On the commercial side, I can tell you from knowing people that have business ideas that want to rent space on Devon or on Tui, and you have property, you call some of these numbers, and you can leave messages. You can leave 15 messages and not get a return phone call.
Yeah, the
That
property
is horrible.
It is. And by the way, in terms of residential, and I want to get into that because that is something that through community policing, if the community wants to protest a specific landlord, as was the case a few years ago, the people from Rabbi Unger's synagogue, as a matter of fact, led the way. The Kollel joined in too. Rabbi Abramson joined in. We had a bad landlord. When 25 people started showing up in court to protest that landlord, the judge in housing court took it seriously. And that guy gets slapped every time he does something. He has to personally show up in court together with anybody else who owns a percentage of that building.
Avi, that's the power of people. That's what we're all about, trying to bring people together, organize the community. One of the other things that's more on the negative side, but let me talk about the
Yeah, by the way,
positive for a
I just
second.
want to say too that if people want to show up at their neighborhood community policing meetings and bring up these landlords, maybe we can all work together to do something about it. because that's the right form
Absolutely. Speak up, show up. I mean, you can't complain about the outcome of something if you're not involved in the process.
for it. Yeah, but they do.
But they do,
So-
of course. People that don't show up complain the most. On the positive side,
Yeah.
one of the things that we're going to be working with the JCC, the Bernard Horch JCC, which, by the way, there will likely be some nice renovations and improvements coming to the JCC.
Really?
And I could talk about that in a moment. We're going to work on a pride of ownership event. We're going to be encouraging all of the schools, day schools, and the public schools in the neighborhood to come together and put together a contest. We'll actually have people submitting pictures of their properties, and if they're maintaining their property properly, then there will be judges, sort of like a Shark Tank type panel, that will judge these submissions. And our goal is to try to encourage in the neighborhood, beyond the Jewish community, trying to encourage pride of ownership and take care of your property and be proud of the best maintained landscapes and picking up garbage in front of your house. Those little things make a very big impact.
Big difference.
So
Because,
we're working on that
yes.
event. And I'm excited
That's
about
cool.
that. And that's a great way to bring together the Jewish day schools, the public schools, any other private schools that are in the neighborhood. We're very excited about that. But speaking about the JCC, so as some of your viewers may know, the Mayor Kaplan JCC in Skokie is being sold. And that deal is closing over the next few weeks. The Kaplan JCC will continue to operate their early childhood center in Skokie. They're actually going to be renting space. So services will continue in Skokie, but the proceeds of the sale, the leadership of the JCC plans to invest those funds into improvements, specifically into the lobby and the appearance of the JCC, which should be very exciting. And again, that's yet another investment in West Rogers Park. So good things by organizing, by people speaking up, which is what we've endeavored to do over the past few years. Good things can happen.
No, there's no question about it. And people working, and that's one of the things you emphasize. First it was in the, business to business, Jewish business to business thing. If people are willing to talk and work together and get to know each other, they're going to find they have more common goals than anything else. And if they really want to accomplish those goals by working together, you can get that accomplished. Well, first, say hi to your wife. She's the one who brought you here.
She did. She did. She made sure I was, for the most part, on time. So
No, that's good. Yeah, you need a good bodyguard. There's no question about it.
That's right.
So if people want to contact you?
Absolutely. So my website, my personal website is shalomklein.com, SHALOMKLEIN.com. That's where people can find out about B2B, about the radio show. And the website for the Jewish Community Council is gowrp.org.
GoWRP.org. I want to thank you very much, Shalom Klein. Continued good luck in your endeavors.
Thanks, Avi. You too.
And stay tuned for segment 2.